The room went silent the moment the SEAL commander's question hung in the air. "Who can shoot?" he asked, scanning the faces of seasoned soldiers, each trained for precision, each hardened by years of combat. Yet the room remained still, uncertainty etched in every jawline. Then, from the back, a hand rose, not a soldier, but a quiet A-10 pilot whose voice rarely carried beyond cockpit communications. Everyone froze. The moment seemed impossible, almost fragile, yet undeniable. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're re-watching from. I love knowing who's listening. Lieutenant Alex Monroe had never been known for bravado. His skill was in silence, in focus, in watching the world from above while others faced it head-on. Years of flying the A-10 Thunderbolt had taught him patience, precision, and the weight of responsibility. But boots on the ground were different. Ouch. This was not just a mission. It was a test of trust, of courage, and of the invisible bond between air and ground forces. The sun had barely risen over the ridges, painting the terrain in sharp contrasts of shadow and light. Dust hung in the air, stirred by rotor blades and the wind that carried the scent of gunpowder. Soldiers moved with measured caution, rifles slung, scanning every tree line and ridge. Each step was deliberate, each breath synchronized with the rhythm of survival. Alex felt the tension as a tangible force pressing against his chest, heavier than any G-force he had felt in flight. He thought he'd never be called to this kind of responsibility. He was wrong. The SEAL commander's gaze shifted, resting briefly on Alex. There was skepticism, yes, but also recognition. He had seen the calm efficiency in reports from air support missions. He knew skill when he witnessed it. The room waited, collectively holding its breath. This wasn't about rank. It wasn't about pride. It was about survival, and someone had to act. Alex knelt, adjusting the borrowed rifle with hands that had steadied gunship controls, but never touched this exact weapon before. The metal felt foreign, heavy in a way unfamiliar to him. Yet he adapted instinctively. His mind mapped distances, wind currents, angles of elevation, and the subtle sway of his own pulse. Every detail mattered. Every moment was a choice. The enemy was advancing. Scouts had reported a flanking maneuver, subtle but lethal if unnoticed. The ground team's position would be compromised in minutes. The SEALs exchanged glances, doubt, hope, urgency, all mirrored in Alex's own eyes as he rose to aim. A whisper passed through the ranks, barely audible. "He's a pilot, not a sniper." The words were meant to intimidate, to cast uncertainty. Alex ignored them, focusing instead on the rhythm of the moment, the shift of sunlight, the gentle rustle of leaves, the distant echo of boots on hard earth. The first shot rang out. It traveled cleanly, silently decisive. The lead enemy scout collapsed, eyes wide in disbelief. The others hesitated, uncertainty spreading through their ranks like wildfire. The SEAL commander signaled forward, trust solidifying in the most unexpected way. Alex fired again, each shot calculated, each impact shifting the battlefield, subtly yet profoundly. The room of observers, soldiers, and airmen collectively exhaled. He was no longer just a pilot. He was a force unseen but undeniable, shaping the mission with precision. The moral weight of each decision pressed on him. Could he make a mistake that cost lives? Could he stand while others fell? These were the questions every soldier faces in moments like this, magnified by the fact that he was technically out of his element. Yet in the tension, Alex found clarity. Courage was measured not by familiarity, but by the willingness to act when action was demanded. Enemy forces faltered under the unexpected accuracy, confusion spreading faster than their coordinated plan. The ground team advanced, coordinated now, moving like a tide that had been held at bay. Each strike from Alex allowed them to reposition, to reclaim initiative, to survive where hesitation might have doomed them. When the dust settled and silence fell over the battlefield, the impact of a single choice was clear. The quiet pilot had shifted the tide of a mission, proving that skill and courage were not bound by tradition or expectation. The soldiers approached him slowly, awe and respect replacing the initial skepticism. The SEAL commander finally spoke, voice low but firm. "That was exceptional. You didn't just shoot, you saved us." Alex lowered the rifle, exhaling slowly, the tension leaving his body in a quiet release. "We saved each other," he said. "All of us." The lesson lingered in the aftermath. Heroism doesn't always announce itself, doesn't always wear the uniform expected or the confidence loudly proclaimed. Sometimes it rises quietly, measured, and transforms the outcome in ways no one anticipated. Because courage doesn't vanish, it waits, and it finds its way back. And as the sun dipped behind the ridges, Alex walked away from the battlefield. Not celebrated for the shots he fired, but for the unseen mastery and calm decisiveness that ensured everyone survived. In the quiet, the soldiers learned a truth they would carry forever. Sometimes, the one you least expect becomes the one who changes everything. If this story inspired you, share where you're watching from and which moment amazed you most. Subscribe to Whispered Words for more stories of courage, unexpected heroes, and the quiet strength that decides battles, because the ones who stand silently are often the ones who shape the world.